Just get my coffee. We're all good to start. Alright. Hello. So today's the second day that I'll be streaming Kenshi, and we're going to continue our file. So just a quick recap for that story that's going on. Since this is the second day, and you may not be familiar with all the details, so I'm currently trying to run a bar in Kenshi, which is something that you can kind of do to a degree. And Tom Servo, the bar owner, is a robot. That'll be our main character for today. And what we're trying to do with Tom Servo, we want to make the best bar in Kenshi. So right now we have some competition. There's a bar next door, and we're trying to put them out of business. Right now we're trying to brew sake specifically. We're kind of having a little bit of an issue with that. In order to make sake in Kenshi, you need water and rice weed. Now, the rice weed is pretty easy. We actually have a thing built inside of our bar to produce that, just in-house. But, unfortunately, we are located in the desert, where water is very hard to come by, very scarce. We tried to build a well, and you'll see this in just a few minutes here. Once this fully loads up. We tried to build a well to get some water out. Unfortunately, because we're in the desert region of the map, it's a 10% yield just to get that water every single time. So we have some of our other characters here. We have Gin the host. He was actually a patron at the bar next door, and we were able to convince him to join. He was more than willing to join as a happy employee. And this person here, who's actually unconscious, their name is Jewel. Now, Jewel's really, really good at cooking, and any good bar needs a good cook. Unfortunately, we sent Jewel out to get some water for us so we can start this process here. But when we did that, she unfortunately got attacked by a skimmer, which, if you've never played Kenshi before, let me take a look if I can find one. And also, we're in the Great Desert, which doesn't really help us out too much either. So, these are dead skimmers. Let's see if I can find a live one. Well, there are always skimmers around the map. They're kind of large. We'll definitely see at least one, or if not more, over the course of just playing today. So, skimmers are really deadly. They're really fast. They have an attack of 31, and that may not make too much sense if you don't play Kenshi, but just for reference, so Tom Servo, his attack is, well, not specifically Tom Servo. Okay, but Gin the host, he has a sword. His attack is 6 plus 5, so 11 compared to 31. That's pretty significant, and that's only for how much damage they do to each other. If Gin was to get attacked by a skimmer, he'd probably go and get downed in about 2 hits, and then probably killed in about 4. So, yeah, it makes quite a big difference. So, first we're going to see if we can help Jewel out here. We'll get her back into shape, and then what we might do is make a little bit of an expedition. So, we're in the Great Desert. We tried to build a well around this area. Didn't really work out. So, what I'm thinking is we could relocate down to the swamp. There may not be any bars down there, and that's pretty much populated by hive people, which are like bug people, so they might actually like to have some alcohol and stuff. We could also go down here to Auckland's Pride. Now, there's a lot of water down here, which would be amazing because we would have very easy time just to get water for all of our equipment we need. So that also would be a good option too. Um, I think that itself is inhabited by the Holy Nation, so we may have a little bit of an issue, but I think it should be okay. So. First off, let's see if we can get Gin to help Jewel out. So, first off, we may actually just go up here and drop her off in the bed. Now, although this is our rival, and we are using their property for free, we're not going to pay them a dime for anything because we don't want their business to go well. So. I'm just going to drop her into this camp bed, and, we had to pay a rental fee, but it's fine. We'll come back eventually and shut this business down, so, it'll be worth it in the long run. That's no issue at all. So, let's go up here. A lot of people that are coming in saying, oh, we can't afford this. And this guy standing right here actually has a pretty interesting story, so... Tom Servo, when we were going out to build that well, we actually ran into this guy named Cabo. And Cabo was a slave, and I believe we had bought him at the slave store over here to be an employee for our bar. But what happened is that when you recruit people in Kenshi, especially if they're slaves, they have a choice whether or not to join your party. So we had left the town to see if we can get the people that we recruited to join. Unfortunately, none of them were really feeling it, so they all scattered about which way in just different directions. Cabo himself, though, stayed, but didn't join. He was pretty much just standing there. He had shackles on, and, it was like probably half an hour after the others left. I went back in the town. I went to check out what was outside, so I saw him there. He was shackled, so he couldn't really run too far or anything like that, and was trying to pick his lock, so that way he can actually run away and do whatever he wants to do. And what happened is that as I was picking his lock, a skimmer ran up and attacked us. Now, Tom Servo was very fast. At least, he's got some decent speed. He's got 5 in athletics. It's up to 100, but, every little bit in this game does help. So, Tom Servo had no problem at all just outrunning that skimmer. But, as for Cabo himself, he really couldn't run fast enough. So, the skimmer did attack him. But luckily for Cabo, it wasn't any, horrible or terrible, long-lasting wound. So he actually survived the attack. We patched him up with Gin, because Gin's originally a doctor. And then we took him back in. So it looks like here, if we go outside, he may decide to join us, which, if he does, that'd be good. We'd have 4 people, 4 people in total that we can use to play with. That's one of the cool things about Kenshi is that, you get more characters that you can play just as you kind of progress or just do different things in the world. So we'll see here if Cabo wants to join. It should prompt in a couple of moments, but like I said, it's up to him whether or not he wants to stay. So keep going. Tom Servo's running so fast. And so yeah, these are alive skimmers. Compared to just a player, just Tom Servo himself, they are, a good bit larger. And, we can't really fight them right now. That's not really the plan I have, at least for Tom Servo, but the bar does well that we could hire some mercenaries, and then we can try to kill all the skimmers and then reclaim the wasteland. And as for this, it seems like Cabo's going to need just a lot more time to really decide what he wants to do, so, you know, that's no worry at all. And, you know, Jules healing up, so that's perfectly fine too. One thing that we can do is, we'll put Tom Servo back at the store, because the owner should be there. It just makes sense. And we'll actually go and pick up some weapons and armor for Gin here, because if we're going to go on that journey, we may need to be really well equipped just for any bandits or anything like that could attack us along the way. And, oh dear, Tom Servo. See, look at that, he's fine. He's so fast. Yeah. One thing I mentioned in the first part of this is that, you know, you're never more than a few, like, inches away from any skimmer at any given time, so it's always good just to check to see if there's a skimmer near. I didn't for like a fraction of a second, and Tom Servo almost got attacked. So, you know, that's something to always keep your eyes out when you're playing this game. Alright. And let's see, let's get in here. Ooh, so you can get him a cool leather jacket, you can get him some ninja pants. We could even get him completely ninja ragged up. I think that'd be cool to have like a ninja in our group. So now Gin's got some ninja looking apparel. And let's see if we can complete the outfits. Is there any hats or anything like that? Get him like this. Protects him from dust storms. And it kind of covers up his identity a little bit, so that would be kind of cool. And we'll go with those ninja pants. Gives him some bonus to his stealth. That'd be pretty good. And, you know, we got him all this. So let's see if we can get him a weapon. Right now what he has is probably okay, but it's always good to see if there's something better. So we'll make a quick stop in here. A lot of the people in this town can't really afford much. So that also doesn't really help the bar business too well. So we can get him a polearm. Not very good indoors, but very good for outside. We can get him a ninja blade. It seems here that his weapon's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. So we might just stick with it. It's good versus humans, and at least early in, that's probably the only issue we're going to really encounter. Right now there's all these skimmers, but the place we're going to be relocating to won't really have that issue. Oh, this is my cool coffee mug. It has a llama on it, which I love. Alright. So, she's almost up to shape. It might take just a couple more, just maybe another minute or so, but her chest kind of got damaged pretty hard. So, just keep Tom Servo right here. And it looks like our stock is almost out, so that's good. We're making some money off of this, which is nice. So, what we'll do is, right now we have all this materials and stuff like that on Tom Servo's back. What I'll do is we'll put that trader the backpack here, and we'll actually have Gin pick it up. Uh, Tom Servo will need to stay here, and we'll try to make this work more. Uh, but if we have some difficulty, then we can always pick up shop and then go to a different town. We want some people to believe that the business is still running. So Tom Servo, he doesn't need to eat, he doesn't need to sleep, he doesn't need to do anything like that. So, and it looks like Jules back up the shape. So she's also gonna need some weapons and armor too, just to keep her safe on this journey, to get the second bar set up. And you know what, we'll give her some ninja rags too, some ninja pants. Actually, what does she have on? Acid protection. Yeah, give her some ninja pants. It always helps if we can make them a little bit sneakier. And give her some dust storm protection too, it helps. So, now that she's all kitted up, we'll make a trip over, grab her a weapon, and, for Jewel, I'm thinking we'll try a pole arm out. I've never used one before for any character, just in this game in general, so I'm kind of excited to see, what it does, if it's really good, or if it's not so good at all compared to a sword. So we'll give her this cool pole arm. And, look at this thing. It could poke your eye out. Alright. And let's take a run over here. So now we got Gin. He's got a backpack on with all of our stuff in it we need. Jewel is properly armed. So just have that. So what I'll have here is we'll have Jewel bodyguarding and following, and we'll both have them run. Now this may take a bit of time, and I'm looking here just for the best way that we can go to get out of this area. The safest way, although that's kind of hard really in Kenshi sometimes to really find a safe way to navigate this terrain. So we need to go over to Okran's Pride. So Spine Canyon, pretty dangerous, pretty treacherous. And maybe what might be a really good idea is, although we are in the desert still, we could try to see if we can capitalize on this. There's water down here, so maybe we can get away with building a well. And what we'll do is we'll go down to Bark and see if we can make that work. Yeah, Okran's Pride may be a little bit too far just for now, but it is a good option to consider in the future if you want to go down that way. So we're going to keep going. Oh. Yes, there is indeed booze, Master Pasco. My apologies for not seeing the chat. I have it open with my phone, but I think it just didn't pull up properly. So let's keep going. And, we're going to make this long journey over to Bark. That should be at least a little bit more water, hopefully, than what we had earlier. So let's keep going on this journey. And we're gonna definitely need to keep watch of just any skimmers or anything like that that are coming along. Nothing better than some coffee. While we're waiting on this journey, Tom Servo's holding the store down. We're gonna need some stuff actually for the store, so we do have rice too, so we can put some rice in there. We are planning to make this a bar / Asian food eatery, so you're gonna have sake, you're gonna have rice. We also might expand just to sell, just other stuff, just like regular alcohol too, like grog. And yeah, quite a bit of these people can't afford these things, but that's why we're gonna have multiple locations. So let's just keep on trotting up. And this is kind of nice too, because at the same time, while we're doing this, they're actually getting better at running. So how does stats work in Kenshi? And wow, that's very good for cooking. So it goes up to 100, but not everything in the game is going to be at that 100 mark. Basically, the best way I can describe it is, if you are at 100 for any given stat, you are the point, I think, it's like 1% or 0.1% in the game, just as a person. So it's like being like the Michael Phelps or like the LeBron James or whatever, just have that specific skill too. And there's like enemies in the game that are like legendary, revered, talked about in Kenshi as like a fabled myth, and they themselves have 100 or 99 in any given stat for like attacking or like something like of that nature. So if you get up to there, then you're basically a god in whatever stat that you're leveling up. Stealth is also really good to level, because it just makes it hard for people to really give you a hard time, and you get to steal more things, which is nice. So, while they're going on, making their way along. And there's a lot of neat debris in Kenshi too. This is a copper resource. Some areas have like robotic heads sticking out of the ground, and like just a bunch of other really cool things. So I'd love to show those parts of the game off too as well. We got some people that are buying our rice, so that's good. Hopefully we can get that second bar up and running just in another town, so that way we can have some more income. If we build a bar down in Bark, then we can get some water, and then start to build, just more of that supply. And then eventually too, what we can do is we can have just kind of like a trade caravan almost, just running between Bark and Stodes, and it'll give Tom Servo some more merchandise that he can sell. Even if we run out of rice completely, that's perfectly fine, because Tom Servo's going to be holding down the store, so he'll be greeting people and just seeing if people want to come in and be nice and friendly with them. And, you know, Jewel still kind of has a bit of chest pain. That's a nice little detail the game has. If, like, their arm is hurting or anything like that, like, they'll grasp it nice and tight. Or anything like that, too. Their legs get damaged and they'll kind of hobble around. So, they really did put a lot of detail into the game. I believe the game itself was just made by one person, and it took them a long time to make it. Uh, Pretty cool story. I think a direct quote from the developer himself was that, you know, I don't really care if people play this game, I don't really care if people buy it, I don't really care about any of that. You know, just as long as, you know, I can make it and that it's a game that I enjoy, and that's all that matters. And it really does show. He did put a lot of love and care into it. I spilled a little bit of coffee, but just a little bit. Nothing to worry about. And it may take a little bit just to get through. This is a stone camp over here, and all of these people are slaves, so it's not uncommon if, you know, there are like slavers that walk around the map, and if you happen to be injured or anything like that, or just unconscious, if they pick you up, they can bring you to one of these camps, they'll put shackles on your character, and then they'll basically put you to work. And you have to kind of make a breakout. One really cool start that you can have with Kenshi is you can specifically say, like, I want to start in a slave camp, and then you can host and make like your own prison break, which is really interesting. So we'll check on Tom Servo. He's still got rice, so we're good. And right here is an example of a wandering trade caravan, so anyone getting to stop and talk to them. Alright, so yeah, we can take this for later in case you want it. And oh no, no, skimmer. Oh no. The trade caravan people don't seem to care about this, so we're gonna make a quick detour, and Gin took some head damage, but he should only be down for a little bit because of it. Yeah, like I did mention, you are no more than like 5 inches away from any skimmer, so we got a little bit off track there, but we should be able to help him out. We do have first aid. And he did take some head damage, but he should be okay after we get him all patched up. We're not going to leave him behind. Okay, he's still unconscious, so for now, I'll Jewel pick him up, and then keep going. And I think, I'm not sure where these traders are going, but we still need to make our journey over to Bark. And he should be good. Alright, so he's back to normal, so we'll put him down, and we'll continue our journey. So yeah, we're gonna need to be extra careful for skimmers, because if that would have been, oh, and you see this is what happens when you got skimmers. These are just regular outlaw farmers, and they didn't stand a chance against any of these skimmers, so now they're all dying. So we're just going to keep proceeding. We're going to keep our eyes peeled. If we see any skimmers, we'll just dodge them and try to dodge them as best as we can. And one nice thing too is that since our athletics they're increasing quite substantially, we do notice that over time they are running faster. So if we need to make any trips in the future, just back and forth, it should take less time. So as you can see here, he took some damage in the head, so he's going to be holding his head basically the whole time as we're just going. We're just going to keep going. No! Alright, this is... we are getting chased by literally everything. But I think they're only interested in Jewel, so... she is quite fast. Gen's getting hurt again, which isn't good. Gonna have him block. Keep going. And we're running into a lot of problems here. Gen got knocked unconscious again. But we're gonna have Jewel just keep running, just as quick as she possibly can. If any of them happens to break away, then we'll try to attack and take one down. But they're not bothering Gen. So we'll just keep going. Jewel's running as fast as humanly possible. Looks like here, these are sand ninjas and a bunch of skimmers, so there's a whole lot of bad things just over this way, but looks like they're pulling back, running away. And poor Gen, he's been getting just the rough end of this journey. So we'll just up back, pick him up, patch him up again, and he's unconscious for a lot longer this time. And yeah, very fortunately that Jewel has a really good athletic stat at this point. Gen also does too, but because he has that backpack on, he's going to be a lot slower because of it. Once here, we can patch him up. So let's just pick him up, and we did buy that lantern, so we are illuminated a little bit. It does help just to see. We don't really need it for this area, but it kind of does help us keep track of our player better. So I think what might be smart here is making a quick detour and stopping in to show Batai. It is kind of dangerous out here, so we're going to see if we can rest up, just repair, just heal our characters up, maybe see if we can dump some excess weight or whatever we don't need, and then pick back on and finish the rest of our journey to Mark. I don't remember the desert being this treacherous. But it's no worry, we'll keep going. Aside from Kenshi, one game that I'm particularly excited about that's coming out this month is going to be Control by Remedy Games. Looks like a really, really interesting title. I'd recommend to check out the trailer for it. They actually released just a story trailer. If you've been following along with just the game in general, we've seen a lot of really good stuff as far as just what you can do in the game, the different weapons, the character. Our main character is a government agent, I believe, to a degree, and one of her family members is missing, which is what the plot kind of revolves around. Oh, this is a pretty good bar. See if they have a bed. We can pop up in here for the night and heal our characters up. Okay. Looks like they do have beds. So get these two, and then we'll take a look back at Tom Servo, because it will take some time for these two to fully heal up. And sleeping will help just get these people all back up into shape. And Jewel does not have any bandages, so transfer that over to her. And get him healed up. Yeah, this month in general just seemed like a really terrific month just for games. How you doing, Tom Servo? Still have rice? Good. And Cabo's still here, just staring. Yeah, it's been a really good month just for the games that are coming out, just in general. But it's been very hot. PC gaming over the summer can kind of be hard, especially if you have like a really nice desktop or something. I mean, even if you have cooling on it, it can still get kind of toasty just over the summer. But playing games in the winter, now that's really good, you know? Who needs a heater when you have a nice desktop and you can play like a really intense game? So let's take a look. Let's see. Well, looks like everything right now in town is closed. So let's see here. You can make a quick stop at the bakery. Maybe putting some baked goods inside of our store would be a good direction to take too. Here's the baker, so let's see what he's got going on. Yeah, let's do some trading. So let's obtain this grain, and we'll just pop back on over. Go back to our bar. And, you know, right now they're healing up, so they're going to need some time just to get fully just in shape again. Alright. So we got... Let's see. What else can we do right now? Let's see. We got a shop guard up here. Got some people sleeping. And, you know, what we can do is we can actually commit some corporate espionage, so let's see. We can level our sneaking up. Sneak in here. They have a lot of things in here that we could just take eventually. But right now, we're just going to look around. See if there's anywhere that we can kind of be that we won't be directly spotted. So, looks like it's not too safe of an area to try to sneak around here. Let's go upstairs. There's the second floor. There's nothing that we could take up here necessarily. So let's keep looking around. We're still kind of waiting for Cabo to really make a choice for what he wants to do, so that's all fine and well also. You know, we can always see if there's more people that we can get just for our party in general, more employees. So let's take a look in here. Looks like the store's still basically dead, but one thing that we can do here actually, we don't really have any guards, so let's go over here. Let's take this bottle of sake. And nobody saw me do it in those 3 seconds, so we're safe to keep taking things. And this guy's got a slaver guard. So we'll go down. Let's just go up here. And, you know, this is a stolen good now, so we took it from the slaver boss. You can sometimes get away with selling stolen things. Basically, every time that you try to steal something and you try to sell it, there is a chance that that item gets recognized as being from somewhere else. So, you know, you sell it to somebody and they'll tell the guards you stole it, and then it'll go from there. But one thing that we can try here, and let me see if I have it correct. So, alright. So one thing that you can do in this game, and I think it may be intended, it hasn't been patched out or anything like that, so if you steal an item and you take it over just to a safe area, one thing that you can do is you can practice just stealing the item just while it's in your own inventory and stuff like that. So what I'm specifically doing here is I'm dropping the item down, I'm picking it up, putting it back in my inventory, and every time that you do this, if you look right here, my thievery is actually increasing. So once you steal like one small thing, and you take it back with you, it makes it easier to steal subsequent big things without getting detected. What thievery does specifically is selling stolen items and stealing items that gets affected specifically by just how good you are at just taking things. So if you take some really high quality items, then it makes it easier to sell it. In addition, you can level up just your stealth in the game too, just by walking around town with your stealth on. And usually if I'm doing that, then I'll just run around in a circle for like a little bit and just have my stealth stat go up just over time. So we're just going to take this. And as you can see, after doing this just for a little bit, my thievery is 13. I don't really want to do too much of that, just because it kind of breaks the game a little bit, just in terms of, being able to take anything that you want. But that's a good demonstration just about how it works in general. And I may make a little snippet of that and just put it up just on my YouTube just to explain more how to, fully maximize that taking things and picking them up and putting them down. But right now, all of our characters are nice and healthy again, so we're going to get them back up, and we're going to try to make that rest of the trip to Bark. And Jewel is running very, very fast. Her job is supposed to be to stay close to Gin. She's not doing a very good job at that, so let's see. So this should make it so they both run side by side. At least that's what I think it means. It could also mean run as quickly as possible, like so fast that you have like an image of yourself behind your main body. But I think it's side by side. So yeah. So that should be side by side for both of the characters now, so they should stay close to each other. Tom Servo's dutifully running our rice and bread store. Got a bit of a Japanese and Western thing going on. Thief, you've just stolen from someone. Be careful when selling stolen goods to traders. You might find yourself in trouble with the law if they catch you offloading their allies' belongings. When you talk to a trader, initiate the trade screen. Hover over a stolen item to check your chances of fencing success before selling. If the fencing chance is low, and it was stolen from the same faction, you'll likely be caught. Your best chance of selling stolen goods is to sell from a trader from another town and faction, or find a thief in one of the town bars. Thieves will buy any item off you risk-free. However, their prices are much less profitable than official merchant prices. So that's a complete explanation on how selling things just works. Some towns have like a shinobi faction, and you can join them too, which is pretty nice. They help you level up just knocking out people, your melee skills. They basically just help you get started with a character completely if you can find them. And they give you armor and all that good stuff too that you need. But one really good thing is that in most bars, these guys are diplomat, with slaves, and I really hope that's not. I think that's directed at me. Yes, it is. And that guy's very fast. So we're gonna hold block and just hope. Yeah, we just barely avoided that attack. So I think this person was definitely trying to attack us. And, oh, we are running into a lot of little problems here. What are these? Outlaw swordsman. We got a bone dog chasing after us. We are a little bit faster though than this one, so we'll get away without any problem. Had that been a skimmer though, probably would have been a lot more of a problem, but we'll just keep following this road. And I can only imagine when these two bump into each other, it's not going to be pretty. So let's just keep trotting on our way. You know, the sand textures, they kind of remind me of if you ever played like Star Wars, The Old Republic, like the MMO, not Knights of the Old Republic, but Tatooine itself. A lot of people used to say like, oh, the desert texture looks like ramen. This kind of does too. I think it's hard to do like a sand texture in games without it looking a bit weird. So let's just keep trotting along. Let's just keep trotting along here. And I think just for today, it's going to be a little bit of a short stream. It's 2:32 p.m. right now. I have to go to work at 4:30, so I'm probably going to cut it short here at just around 3 o'clock, just so I can relax and chill just before work starts. But tomorrow, luckily, I do go in at 2 o'clock, and I'm done at around like 10:30, so on Wednesday, I'm going to be trying to stream for probably around 8 hours, so, you know, try to catch that. It might be Kenshi, but I think for that day it'll be a variety of things. So I'll probably do some Enter the Gungeon on that day, because I was playing some of that too. If you look in the VOD, just for the channel, you can find that in there too. I haven't really played in a long time for it, and I saw a lot of the new content with like the rat fight, and also the new gunslinger expansion, so I want to try that out. So I think I'll be doing that on Wednesday, and then I'm also off on Thursday too, so it might be more of the same thing, or it might just be a really big Kenshi day that I have planned out. So who knows? I don't know myself yet either. Looks like... Ooh, so these are the samurai sergeants. So they're very, very strong. Pretty much all of them are. And what this means too, is that these are areas that can be discovered, and are currently being just held by an enemy faction, which usually they're really strong. Sometimes in towns, if you go to bars, you can get quests, not really traditional quests as in like I go in, I pick up a quest and it's like in a quest log and it tells me what to do. In Kenshi, it's more so most of the time you get a description of an area or a person. And one example of that is like there's a dust bandit leader. I don't want her to run too far away from him. There's a dust bandit leader, and what that leader does specifically is that he's holed up in a tower. The game tells you, oh, like he's somewhere in this region, this part of the game. Go find him and take him out for us. And you know, if you take him alive, we'll give you money, just at the police station. So that's the one cool thing, is that the game's very open. You really don't even need to do those if you don't want to. Right now, you know, my bar journey is, you know, its own separate thing. One thing I think that would be really cool is, so you can like have dogs and stuff in Kenshi. So I think one cool thing that well, you know, and anybody's really welcome to try it out. It's just more of an idea, but trying to make a a dog seller. Like you go around the map, you try to find dogs, tame them, and then basically become like a dog master. And here's all the factions of the game too. Usually on here, just world events and stuff like that too. If you have a settlement, it's pretty common for people to come over, like trade caravans. They'll stay on here, or just other stuff too. And I should really name this so it's not nameless _0. So let's look at the bar boys. And it should have updated, but it's no big deal. I'll name bar boys. And here's all the little intricacies you can do, like just to customize how the AIs interact. So that's a pretty cool feature too. Sometimes in games, like your companions can do the exact opposite of what you want. A good example of that is Persona 3. If you ever heard of that game before, ever have experience playing it directly, sometimes your party members, they really don't do exactly what you want most of the time. So it could be like, you know, you have a healing character, and 90% of the time they heal you whenever you know, specifically ask them to. But then you'll enter a boss fight, you'll have like 1 health left, you're gonna be so close to beating them. All they need to do is heal you, and they decide to just do something completely random, like buff you or attack the boss, and you just kill it or it misses, and then you just lose. And you got a wandering assassin, so we don't want to mess with this guy. Sometimes around this map, it's really easy to level up combat, just because you can sometimes find just stragglers running around by themselves, and if you sneak up on them, you can beat them up. Usually what I would do is I find someone, I knock them out just from behind, and then you can actually take their items out of their inventory while they're like that, so you can get rid of their weapon and their armor and all that stuff too, and then you basically just beat them up, just to level up just your stats. So let's just keep trotting along. And don't want to go too fast there, Jewel. Let's take a look at our boy Tom Servo. Still good. Still doing very well. Yeah, this is Mystery Science Theater in the later years where you know, Tom Servo, he was got a little bit tired of reviewing movies, so he just went to a fictional world and decided, oh, I'll just be a bartender. Why not? Oh. And this looks like a straggler. These are all outlaw people here. Outlaw swordsman. His defense is pretty high though, but right now he really doesn't attack well. And, you know, Jewel actually might be able to take him down. So, let's see. Let's attack this guy. And we'll again actually get in there too. And we'll see if we can win our first combat. It's going to be a 2v1 with realistic sword fighting. Ooh, I took some damage, but we got. Hit him from behind. Ooh, good. Oof. Yeah, get him. Oh, I'm taking some decent damage, but should be fine. Ooh. Ooh. And he's getting just beat up. Nice. Let's go. And I think... Oh. He's dodging. Ooh, Jewel just got a really good strike in. And we did it. We actually won our first fight in Kenshi, so because of that, they got a little bit better. So next time, they should have a little bit of a better chance at winning just a regular fight in general like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to loot this guy. So we're actually just going to take everything, just as much as our inventories can actually handle. Straw hat, all that. So this person's unconscious and dying, and they're probably not gonna make it. But now that we got their stuff, we can patch ourselves up. And that was a pretty successful fight, you know. If we run into someone else that tries to attack us in the future, then... Oh dear. And he did not win his fight. We have another one. Oh no. So, help her out, man. Ooh, and that's not good. Oh no. So, we went from winning a fight to completely just getting annihilated there. Hopefully this guard wins, otherwise you might be in a bit of a problem. So we're gonna need to try something here to help him out. We're so close to Bark, we really don't want anything to really mess us up. So Tom Servo, he senses, just from far away, he just senses that there's a big disturbance just in the mission that he had sent his companions on. So Tom Servo's gonna dash over as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. And the store's gonna get shut down, because he's genuinely worried about his friends. So he's dashing, he's running as quickly as he possibly can. He's like, I sent my friends out to get all of my stuff, but they haven't come back. I wonder what happened to them. He's running as fast as humanly possible. His eyes, they are glaring. He's trying to figure out what went wrong. Oh, he's running. His athletics isn't so good. There's a skimmer here. He has to run back. Oh no. He's got to run back as quickly as possible, but luckily a town guard's gonna deal with that. So, keep running. And what's here? Like, Gien is back up. Same with Jewel. So we're gonna try to get Jewel patched up, and Tom Servo's gonna run, check on him, because he himself is still concerned, even though they seem like they're okay. Tom Servo does not know that. So let's get them all healed up. And looks like there's no more immediate threats in the area. There's a rebel farmer just attacking a Garu. But Garu should be able to win. And it looks like we have a new character. So Cabo actually joined us on our journey. So we're gonna have Cabo follow Tom Servo, and now he's part of the gang. So now Cabo and Tom Servo are on a big rescue adventure together. And we'll have both of these guys just, first aid each other. And I don't know what this thing floating around is, but what's this? We want to be careful. We don't want Tom Servo to accidentally be a slave. So we'll just double back. Have these two follow each other as best as they possibly can. And we'll make our way to Shobatai first. And a little bit hurt. Can we splints? Got any splints? Nah, not at all. So they are extremely close to Bark, but now they're going to be hobbling there. But it's just right over this way, so... And... Cabo's being chased because he is an ex-slave. So he's going to get into a little bit of hot water there with that. So try to navigate through here and just dodge as much as we can. Tom Servo's going to run away just a little bit. Kabo's dodging. He's dodging and weaving. He's doing that serpentine position. Taking a little bit of damage here. So, keep running. Trying our best to get away from these people. Kabo's left leg is taking some damage, and fortunately Kabo has been caught. Tom Servo's being chased around. And these two are trying to run for their lives. Tom Servo just cannot catch a break. But we should be able to outrun this guy. So we'll keep trying to run to get the Shobatai. And just take a look back here. They are almost at Bark. But unfortunately, you know, Tom Servo is not aware of that right now. He's currently being chased. So we're just going to see if we can get further. And looks here like he's trying to get patched up, but Kabo's going to try to keep running away from this guy. And we're going to increase Tom Servo's defense by just holding block, so he's not going to try to attack or anything like that. We're just trying to get the Shobatai, because that's the nearest town. And Tom Servo's running as fast as he possibly can. Kabo's still getting hassled a bit here. There's not much we can do for him right now, but we'll come back for him. But right now, we'll go back to this adventure here. So, they're still hurting. And these are starving vagrants, so we want to try to dodge that if we can. But it may be a little bit hard. We'll try to go more towards the coast. Tom Servo's still running for his life. His athletics are getting a little bit better though, but he's still getting chased by this one guy. And right now, all these starving vagrants are chasing after us. So this could be very, very bad. Oh no. And we're taking quite a lot of damage. And hopefully these people... Oh, and they don't like the fact that we're a robot, so that's not good either. We're just gonna try our best to run into town, get away from just these people. And if we're lucky, we should be able to get away. Oh dear, they are catching up on us. So Gen and Jewel are both unconscious again. And Tom Servo's running for his life. He's hoofing it. And he made it. He made it into Shobatai. He's still getting chased, but now he's just running as quickly as possible. And we're gonna need to have a mission to save Cabo. So, got first aid kits. It looks here like they're just unconscious. So let's take a look. Looks like the starving vagrant is trying to heal one of them. I don't know where Jewel is. They might have just fallen under the map. And we are so close. So close. Cabo's just gonna try to kind of crawl all the way over to show Batai. And, you know, Tom Servo's kind of feeling a little bit bad. He's reflecting. He's just like thinking, you know, I should go back. Cabo was a loyal guy. He stared at me constantly in my bar. You know, I can't leave a man behind. And it looks like all those people that were chasing after Tom Servo are being killed. So, Gin's back up. And Jewel's still unconscious, but we're gonna pick her up. I can't carry anyone with this arm, so looks like our arm is completely just out of the picture here. Let's put some first aid on Jewel, try to pick her back up. And Tom Servo's gonna try to pick up Cabo and bring him over to Batai while he's crawling over, very, very sadly. And there we go. So we're just gonna see here. We help out Jewel. Jewel is still unconscious in a recovery coma. So chest needs to be above 0 and the right leg. So what we're gonna need to do then is we're gonna have Gin go to Bark, and we're gonna see if there's someone in town that will understand our needs. You know, someone that we could beg to come help out in our time of need, because we're currently just having a very, very rough time. His arm is like flopping around. He's like, help, we need to hurry. My friend, they've attacked her. Poor Cabo, his left leg is just almost destroyed completely, so Tom Servo's gonna double back. His athletics is actually increasing since we've been running so much, so just from dodging all that combat, we've actually made our character stronger, which is pretty cool. Forgive Igor, they don't compare to Cat Leo. So, we're gonna keep running. Gin shouldn't have any issue at all. So Gin's just gonna keep on running around. And we're gonna go into a nearby bar. And it looks like as this was going on, Jewel actually is fine now. But Gin does not know this, just because he's further away. He's not able to really see. And Jewel's probably very confused right now about what happened. They had suddenly been attacked, and she doesn't know where Gin is now. So I'm gonna go over to the bar, and we're just gonna recruit somebody. See if somebody wants to help us out. And let's see, where's Tom Servo at in his rescue mission? He's a little bit of ways away from Cabo, but we're gonna keep going. And I'm gonna see what Cabo's up to. He is still limping and crawling very slowly. He's not sure where he's trying to go to. He's pretty aimless. And there's manhunters over here, which are really, really dangerous. So we'll have Cabo just try to sneak as much as he can. And just as it seems like everything's lost, Tom Servo comes up. He's running around. He sees his good friend Cabo. It's like, let me try to heal you, friend. Let's get some first aid. We don't have any first aid kits, unfortunately, but we'll pick up Cabo. And we'll double back over to Shobutai. Trying to avoid the manhunters as best as we possibly can. We don't know if they'll attack us necessarily, but it's still good to, keep our distance just in case. Tom Servo, he's getting strong. He's getting more used to having to pick up his companions. So while they were doing that, Jewel finally can see the city of Bark that Tom Servo had sent her up to with Gin. Gin's still missing. And just right now, Gin's just going to go up and take a look at the bar. Sees a bunch of just different people here. Just people sitting down. And I'm just going to take a look here. If there's anybody that he can really talk to. So, there's a man here named Koteshi. And Koteshi says, "You're from out of town, right?" As he shifts around restlessly. "Yeah, is there a problem?" "I'm in trouble. The nobles will be coming for me soon. They'll send me off to the vault and torture me, cut off my tongue. I have to get out of here. Can you help me?" "Well, what did you do to make them so mad?" "Conspiracy. Looks like somebody made themselves a fat cat from snitching on me. Either way, I'll be dead if I'm not gone by tomorrow." "How can I help?" "The guards will let me walk out of here just like that. They're greedy. I'll need to bribe them. 3,000 cats should do it." "Do you think you can help? I don't have the money, but I'll give you my allegiance in return. I'll be forever indebted to you. Here, have 3,000 cats." And just like that, Koteshi joins the party. And now that they're made acquaintances with each other, they're just going to be spending some time here, getting to know each other just for a little bit. And they're going to be talking about that quest that they were sent on. Jesse takes a moment just to hear everything Gin is talking about. And now they're actually going to take a journey over, because they know that their friend Jewel is still missing. They haven't been able to find her, and she is wounded. Koteshi understands this and they're going to be going on a journey together to go rescue her. Unfortunately, Gin is very, very injured. His arm is not doing so well, but he puts all of his trust and faith in Kenshi to complete the rest of this journey to find his friend. So he is off to find the missing companion, Jewel. Meanwhile, Tom Servo is still on his journey. He's trying to get over to Shovatai. He had made it there once and he believes he can make it there again, even with his best buddy Cabo being completely just annihilated by that wandering gang of mercenaries. And all you can see around him is just deserts and dust storms. Nothing else in sight for miles. Luckily for Tom Servo, he does remember that he does not need to eat at all. So he's not too worse for wear. But Gin himself is getting a little bit hungry, so he's just gonna go grab a bite to eat at the bar here. To apologize to Tom Servo for spending their hard-earned money on another bar, as it is a competitor, but it should be okay. So we'll pick up some bread. He's already eating it. And a meat wrap. And we'll pick up just a spare piece of bread for his friend when she arrives. So he's just going to take a load off. He's had quite a long and strenuous day. His arm is still not doing too well. He's just going to hang out. Meanwhile, Kenshi hasn't left town yet. He had a little bit of a delay. Just thinking. He was just taking a breather and just thinking. But he's going to hurry after, because his new boss that helped him out in his pinch for the 3,000 cats, he's going to look around and just take a look here. And he finds Jewel just kind of hobbling around. So he's going to pick her up. He notices that they've had quite a long journey just to get over here. And he's going to bring her just back to the bar so they can all be reunited. Meanwhile, Tom Servo and Cabo are trying their hardest here. They're just going to keep going. And Cabo definitely is in need of medical attention. So as soon as they get to that city, they're going to try to heal and rest up and get him a bed. Luckily, Cabo wasn't captured by any of the slavers, so he kind of takes a breather, just says, quite lucky that we weren't captured, and take it over to the stone camp. And now that they're all back, Kenshi's gonna drop Jewel just back here, put her down, and now they're reunited. They can finally take a breather after the long and perilous journey they've had, and they're gonna see if they can find somewhere to sleep, just to sleep off this journey. It's been quite strenuous. They're going to see here if the bar has any place to sleep, just any spare beds, and yeah, it looks here like there is a bed, so Gin's going to take advantage of that. And it seems like there's no beds available for Jewel right now, but that's perfectly fine. We'll actually have Jewel go up. She needs it a lot more than Gin does right now, so he'll just be that cool one-arm ninja. And Tom Servo again finally reached the city. And they both made it. So Tom Servo doesn't need to sleep, so he's just gonna put Gin or Cabo in the bed. And we do some first aid. His leg is up in the air. It's a pretty rough shape, but we'll try to heal that up. And we'll get Cabo some food. He's had a long day and deserves something good to eat. So we'll get him some bread. We'll go up here and we'll give it to him. And you don't need him to sneak around anymore. So I'll give him a lot of bread, you know. He's had a very rough day and he deserves it. So Tom Servo, he's just gonna spend some time with his new friend up here, just keep watch of him. Jewel still needs to be laying in bed, so we'll try to get her into one. Or at least we'll try to. And the beds might be interactable. These people are sleeping. So let's see if we can take one of their beds. She really needs to lay down. We may just need to wait a little bit, but we can see here if Gin's healing from just sitting here. So it seems like they're not, so we're going to need to find a place for them to sleep too. Let's take a quick look here, just what's around town. And one thing that we can actually do too is get a little house here. Let's just make sure it's an armory, farm shop. But I don't really see a place that we can make some tents at. It's a general shop, so let's see. Camp bed. In order to make that, we need a sleeping bag. So let's see if Gid can walk on over and check out if they can sell some sleeping bags. If so, we'll buy a house here, and we'll look into making it into a bar. Looking here, like, we can't make a sleeping bag here, so let's check out just other options. And, you know, Cabo's resting up. He's going to take a while before he's good for anything else. Jewel does need food too, so let's take care of that. There we go. So these are both currently still being used, but right now, you know, they're all injured, and they're having a hard time finding a place to sleep. So we'll just all have them sit together and share their adventures so far. And Tom Servo is going to spend time just to make sure Cabo heals. Alright, and I think here would be a perfect place to stop. So, the adventure today, we tried to get over to Bark, and almost died a lot, just along the way to get there. We got attacked by slave hunters who almost tried to put Cabo inside of, you know, some shackles and bring him to the slave pit. We were able to free him on a rescue mission, and we were able to get Gin, Jewel, and Goteshi to all meet each other. Tom Servo isn't really aware of that still, and he still feels like they've been gone for too long, so he's going to go on a big adventure to Bark 2 to meet up with Cabo. So stay tuned for our next journey, just on the next edition of Bartender Life in Kenshi. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.